You're tired of the endless grind, no matter how much you work or how hard you work, at the end of the month, you don't have any money and you're just living paycheck to paycheck. That's why in this video, I want to share with you some of the ways that I've been able to create multi-million-pound companies, but also show you how do you actually make more, how do you earn more, and how much is also enough. The first one is you've got to start investing in yourself. And what that means is you've got to learn new things. How can you do something different if you're not able to learn new things? I had one of my students, he attended one of my training programs. I introduced him to some of my network. This guy put in 30,000 and made 2.5 million next day. And after that, he made another almost 8 million from that in 2 days. What's the difference? The difference is that he's able to have the new knowledge, there's new insights, he's learning, he's investing in himself. He's investing in learning, he's putting the time in. And I think a lot of the times people don't always put enough time in to learn new things. And that's why they don't get new results. The second thing is you might want to consider doing a side business. So if you're working a job right now, but you have a side business, great. How can we create something on the side? It could be something that we're passionate about. It could be something that we love to do. It could be something that we start to implement that we really are focused on adding value and solving problems. And one of the biggest ways to do that is to solve problems. If you can solve a big problem right now, for example, I know a friend of mine, I'm currently here in Toronto, he's a billionaire. He solved this big problem of like why real estate agents are not making enough money. So he's able to solve that problem. So now a lot of them make money. What is the passion behind it? The passion is solving problems. If you're able to take a complex situation, simplify the process, and overcome the pain and challenges, obstacles associated with that, then you can make a lot of money doing this. But you've got to take the time to learn and to implement. The third thing is investing in real estate. If you're not investing in real estate right now, you're not investing in an asset. An asset, yes, can go up in value, can go down in value. But the key here is to make sure that when you're like, for example, I own a lot of property in the UK. I built a multi-million-pound property portfolio. These properties, they rent, and whatever the mortgage is, the difference is I get to keep. That's number one. The second thing is that when you buy a property, all the time the property price goes up in value. So for example, if I buy a property, it's worth $1 million now, and in 10 years time, it's worth $2 million, and the debt's been paid half off. If I sell it, I get to cash out hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is why when real estate is a long-term game. A lot of people, they don't really understand when we do real estate, is it long-term, is it short-term, medium-term? But actually, you want to find out different ways you can start investing in real estate and to be able to buy properties below its market value. That's actually the number one key. You make money when you buy, not when you sell. So start looking at real estate. In fact, if you used to buy just one piece of property every year for 10 years and you wait another 10 to 15 years, you would have your asset value or your net worth increase. In the meantime, you're getting paid passive income or cash flow. Fourth thing is consider the stock market. So a friend of mine, he taught me a strategy. He said, John, when you invest in the stock market, when you're researching the company, and he told me this methodology where when you look at all these big companies like a BlackRock, some of these big private equity firms, they're pumping a lot of money into the market. You can see an indication of where the market's moving. And really there's only three things. Is it going up? Is it going down? Or is it going sideways? And so there are certain ways you can actually see if the market's going up or if it's going down. He literally took out his phone, and in this one account, there are like 29 million in it. I said, how did you turn that money into that money? He said, John, I did it again. I tested another strategy. And he actually put 50,000 and he turned that to 7 million. And he showed me the other account. I said, well, what was the thing that you did differently? He said, John, I knew the market was going up because when all these institutions, they put the money, the market has to move in one direction, right? It takes a lot of money. And practically, if you look at all these big private equity funds, they are the market. So when you get a wind of this stuff that happens, what happens is you can predict, or there's a high chance of it either going up or going down or sideways. That's why you must always learn. That's why you must always invest in yourself. A lot of my students now who have become financially free, who are multimillionaires, are the people who've taught me how to do this. And I want to introduce these people to my community so they can all make money at the same time. The fifth one is digital products, creating something digital. When people ask me, John, I want to start a business, but I'm not sure what business to start and I'm not sure what field to get into. One of the best ones you can do is to create what we call a digital asset or a digital product. Why? Because a digital product allows you to get started immediately. For example, anyone can take out a phone or a camera and they can film a digital asset. One of my students literally created this digital course and she taught people how to lose weight, to get into shape. I had another one of my friends who taught people how to write a book. She made $1 million just from sitting in the kitchen, recording a video on how to write a book, and then Groupon at the time, they distributed the course for her, and that's how she was able to monetize. So actually, if you create something on the side that allows you to make more money, this is one of the best things that you can do, and it's one of the best things you can really start to incorporate, especially for the things that you want to do as a side hustle as well. So the sixth thing you can do is what we call peer-to-peer lending. Right now, again, another one of my students, he's got all this money sitting in the bank doing nothing, and he lends it peer-to-peer. So for example, he was involved in the property transaction. He lent this person some money to buy property. property, they bought that property and then they refinanced it and paid him the money back, and they charged a high percentage. What you got to do if you want to make more, you actually have to make sure that you are earning more by creating more multiplication. You see, success in business is about making money, multiplying the money, holding the money, and keeping it. But a lot of people, they don't know how to make it. That's the first problem. Second problem is they don't know how to multiply it. And the third one is they don't know how to keep it. The amount of people I know that people have made all this money, they made all this fortune, and overnight they lose it because they get into an industry that is not within their core competence. So that's why we always talk about the 30, 30, 30, 10 strategy. You take some of the money that you earn, you put it into the strategy, and then you grow from that. And that's why when you're doing peer-to-peer, there are lots of platforms out there that you can put your money into where they pay you a really high ROI. It's just a lot of you holding in the bank. The money's there anyway, and the money's not working for you. The key is to work hard for money, but have our money work even harder for us. 7 is you can monetize social media, and you can monetize, for example, a YouTube channel. You can monetize a blog. There's a great piece of software called Substack. If you're good at writing, you can write your articles there. You can put it on that, and people will actually pay money to subscribe to your article. For example, there's a finance blog that has thousands and thousands of people that pay them $300 a year just for these finance updates. You look at something like a Business Insider that charges, $47, $97 per month to basically get articles. That's one of the ways you can monetize. So if you want to do written, if you want to do video, you can do things like YouTube. You can have a subscription. We actually have a subscription platform called Success.Club, and you can check it out. And every month we have an expert come in teaching a specific strategy. And when that strategy is taught, what happens is we have a lot of people that then come in and start learning from them. And that's how they make money. Think of it as a mastermind, like a virtual mastermind. That's what we put together. And that's why it's so powerful for you to be able to learn this stuff and really grow to the next level. Number 8, this is one of the best ways you can do this. You can automate and outsource. You don't have to be the person doing the job, but if I know someone else who can do the job, for example, I just had a meeting here in the Four Seasons, and a friend of mine said to me, John, I need a social media manager. So this social media manager, imagine if I don't know how to do social media, but I can find someone to do social media, and I get that person in front of the person that wants to hire the social media manager. And let's say the social media manager charges $5,000 per month. In exchange, I'll have $1,000 that comes to me. The $4,000 goes to them every single month. If I put 10 people in touch with these people, guess what? Right? You can make an extra $10,000 a month. Trying to get out of the mindset of thinking that you have to do everything. If you know the right contacts, if you know the right people, you can make a lot of money just by simply connecting people together. That's one of the beauties of living in the current climate right now, is that we have a lot of opportunity to do this. Number 9 is consulting services. You will have knowledge that people can actually benefit from. So for example, people say to me, John, I know a lot of people that could use help with their business, and I know you're the right person to help this person with their business, but I can't help them, right? So they say, I can't help them, but you can help them, John. There's 2 things you do. If you know how to help them, then you would consult for a fee. So you might charge $1,000 an hour. My fee, I charge $5,000 an hour, right? They consult with me. I give them step-by-step strategy, and what they pay me, they make way more than what they pay me. The key is to make sure that when you're learning from people, when you're growing to the next level, you've got to make sure that if you're not the person that can help that person, you can actually find somebody else who can also help that person get that result, right? So for example, you might say, hey, John, I know this company. Can you help them? You're going to charge them $5,000. Can you give me some of that? Sure, right? So that's what we call a referral model, right? So you're taking the skill of somebody else, you're finding someone who needs that skill set, and you put them together, and that's how you monetize. So you got to think outside of the box. And I'm going to go one step further on that. So right now, if any of you are watching this, I'm looking for businesses to buy. I'm looking for businesses who are looking to double their income, triple their income, 10x their income, right? And they need help to grow their company. And in exchange, I take a fee and I take equity. What if I said to you that, hey, if you bring a business to me, and let's say they give me 20% equity of their company, could I give you some of the equity? So now you become a shareholder of that company just by simply referring the business. That's what we call a win-win-win. It's win for me, it's win for you, and it's win for the company that wants to grow the company as well. Okay, and the last one. This one is the biggest one out of all of them. By the way, before I teach you this, if you love this and you know someone who's struggling with the finances, share this video with them. And also you can leave a comment below. I'd love to answer your questions. And if you love this, subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to be creating a lot more content. I'll also link in a video at the end as well. So the last one, if you want to make more money, you have to be mindful with where you put your money. So there's only 2 questions I asked. Number 1 is the money I'm putting into right now, is it going to produce me a return on investment, or is it going to be a liability? That's exactly how I look at it. So if I'm hiring a team member, that's an ROI, because that person will make me more than I pay them. If it's an investment, okay, I could lose it, right? And you've got to be mindful. That's why you should never invest more than 10% of your net worth into the things that are very high risk, because if it goes to 0, you only lost 10% of your net worth, right? But the mistake people make, they put all of it in. You've heard me say this before, so I won't say it again. But the most important part of this is to make sure that mindful spending, meaning what you put your money into. Is it into a doodad? Is it into something that's not great? Is it into something that is not really paying you a dividend? You've got to really start to understand that where you put your money and where you place your money and how you make your money, how you multiply your money, make a massive difference. And then you're probably wondering, John, at the start of this, you said that one of your students, after putting in a small amount of money, made 2.5 million. The day after, it was 7 million. In fact, if you don't believe me, a friend of mine just sent me a screen grab. You can see that is the money, right? 7.8 million. This is somebody who's been through my trainings, who I introduced to somebody else. We kept in touch. And now he's a good friend of mine. So Chris actually helped him do this as well. But I want you to see that whenever we start creating something where we can really support each other, everybody wins. And this is one of the reasons why I like to put virtual summits on, because I have people like him who are going to come onto the platform to tell their story. The story is, hey, I attended John Lee's virtual summit. I met this person. I continue my education, and this is now how much I'm worth. And he did it with a small amount of money. So this is why I want you to really pay close attention to who you are, where you are, who you hang out with, because your network really is your net worth. You got to be ready for it. Success is when preparation meets the opportunity. So I really want you to understand that, and I really want you to get that. So if you love this, subscribe to the channel, share this with a friend, and also make sure you check out this video here.